Yes.
What's going on, y'all? Marriage 101 with the Gilliards. It's been a long time that we went live and discussed anything about marriage or anything. So today we're going to be talking about pride in the marriage.
Yes.
If I don't look directly in the camera, it's because I'm driving. But we wanted to come on and, like I said, it's been a good while. So we want to be able to come on and still be a blessing and give our advice and be transparent. We can help somebody on today. So, my wife's going to start it off because she came up with the topic for today. So I'm going to let her start it off and then we'll go from there. And y'all remember, man, bring your questions, ask your questions, and even if your opinions, if you're dealing with or have been through what we are talking about, it's always good to hear other people's opinion and not just ours all the time. So feel free to, to jump on in and do your comments. Most of the time we do get people commenting, but bring it on. Bring your questions and everything. All right.
Pride in the marriage. That can be a big downfall as far as pride in the marriage, because sometimes you aren't humble enough to ask for certain things, and then you expect your spouse to know certain things. But if the foundation of when y'all started was set, and these was the thing that was talked about, something was set, and then that's how y'all started in the marriage. But then yet you need help with something, or you need your spouse to just kind of step in a little bit more, and your spouse has already said plenty of times or asked you plenty of times about something, but yet your pride won't allow you to sit there and ask for help. Y'all gotta forgive me because I'm saying a lot and I don't want to keep saying that. But that could be a downfall, because that's your pride. That's your pride that won't ask your spouse for help. And mostly I see this when it comes down to men and strong-headed women, because it's like, well, no, I'm gonna just do it myself. Or women that are always, or people who always doing stuff for themselves. This is why I see this coming at, and this is where it's a downfall in this in that situation as far as your pride is concerned with it, because your pride will make you lose out on certain things. It will cause certain problems, because you expecting your spouse to just kind of step in with certain things, but if the foundation was set, oh, you don't have to help with this, I'm gonna take care of this, but then you get into a situation to where you can't handle everything, then you like, okay, well, I need you to help me out, but you just want them to jump in, instead of saying, hey, I need your help. So that's where the pride and what could be a bad thing in your marriage. It could destroy your marriage, and then it causes unnecessary problems when it could have just easily been fixed by just saying, hey, I need your help with this. I need you to kind of step in, or sit down and just be like, hey, I know I said this, or I know we came up with this, but can we kind of work at it and look at something else, look at it differently. And that's where, and y'all got we going over bumps right now, so the phone kind of shaking. But that's where pride will mess up a marriage, because you won't become humble enough to say, hey, I need your help with this. Or you think somebody look at you differently. And not even if you feel like you can't go to your spouse, you can always ask somebody, well, how can I ask them or approach this situation, or how should I? Because sometimes we do have those spouses where some people make the person to say something and they feel like they had to get chewed off, which you shouldn't be doing that shit, because for one thing, you should have your friendship. And if you have a friendship, then you don't have to worry. You shouldn't have to worry about or be scared to talk to your spouse about anything. So that's what I was talking about as far as pride in the marriage.
But when I think of that or hear that pride in the marriage, I always think about like the individual really don't want to compromise or don't want to admit when they're wrong, when they're doing something where they always feel like they're right.
Right. Yeah.
Their opinion is always the right opinion. Their advice is always the right advice, and you so pride in where you don't even want to really
Humble yourself and say,
or take compromise and take the advice of your spouse, but really you're prideful, feeling like I can't do no wrong, type stuff. That's what I think of when I hit pride in the marriage. And to me, that's like a selfish person, because in a marriage you have to compromise. You have to, sometimes you gotta agree to disagree. Just come to
some common
ground instead of saying, you know what, this is how I am, this is how I feel about it, and I'm not changing it no matter what. You never will solve any kind of disagreement or any kind of thing y'all have to agree on if you're going to always be prideful and don't want to listen and feel like you all that in the bag of barbecue chips, how some people say. But that's what I think about when you hate pride in a marriage. And being prideful can also like almost I don't want to say destroy, but it will bother the other spouse self-esteem and all that. And sometimes they don't even want to put up with it no more, and they be like, you know what, I'm tired. They don't want to compromise with nothing. Their way is always right. I can do better without them.
Yeah.
But one thing that we have to learn, that when we're in a marriage, you take you in the marriage, but it's two people coming as one. So some of the things that you may have done when you've been single, you have to let go while you're married. So if you've been a prideful person coming up, you know what I'm saying, you know that when you come into marriage, hey, this is something that I have to change, because if not, the marriage is won't last. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody don't want to put up where they always feeling like they're wrong. They never can do anything right. The spouse never agree with nothing they're saying, and it's just like it's almost like a put down each time something come up. And nobody want to be in a marriage like that, because to me that's like a type of abuse. And all abuse ain't always got to be physical. You know what I mean? You got emotional abuse and stuff like that. And I just feel like that's a type of emotional abuse, because you just putting yourself in the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So in marriage is just like I say, it's two people, so it can't be me. You gotta change that. You gotta change that M and change it to a W. And it's we.
That's right.
You gotta flip. Right. You gotta flip that M around to a W. You know what I'm saying? And so just like me, you turn around, the W is wife. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? Just make sure you flip it around and change that me into we. That don't make no sense what I said this now. Y'all raised that. I thought it, but it ain't come out right. I thought about that. That ain't y'all erased that. That ain't make no sense. It sound good in my head, y'all, but it ain't make no sense just now. But you change the me, the M to a W, and make it we. So y'all just make sure that y'all doing that, and especially if you're prideful, you have to humble yourself. Even in your walk in your life, you have to be. It's better to be a humble person. Even in the scriptures, it says God give His grace to the humble, and He resists the pride. So you could be prideful in things that you do, and you know, and stuff like that, but not where the haughtiness, all that kind of stuff, you gotta throw away, and just in your regular life and your marriage and stuff like that, because no male or no female want to put up with where they're always feeling like they're wrong. They always feeling like they can't do nothing right. Nobody want to live like that. So if that's you, husband, man, or woman, you gotta check yourself. You know what I'm saying, and ask the Lord to help you with dealing with your pride, and really work on that. You know what I'm saying, and do things that where you will start to change that, because like I say, nobody wanna deal with that put down, or all that prideful spirit, because that can be real rough and detrimental to a marriage. So really humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? You really got to humble yourself. In order for your marriage to be successful, you got to get rid of that pridefulness that you may be dealing with. So really think about that if you're dealing with that, or ways that you can help yourself to get rid of that. A lot of times you may have to write it down, you know what I'm saying, and take steps. So okay, this is what I'm gonna try to start doing so I can get rid of it, and then you start working those steps, and then before you know it, you'll be able to get rid of all that that pridefulness and stuff. Because if you got married, obviously you love that person, and when you are married to somebody, you want to do what you can to
Make sure they're
you know what I mean, to make them feel secured in you and everything, and satisfied and stuff like that, and just as well as you want to be satisfied and feel loved and stuff like that. So you shouldn't enter a marriage and then you feel miserable. And I don't believe that
marriage is that way. Marriage is not miserable.
Yeah, so you can make it you can make it great, you can make it fun, but you just gotta work on it. It's just not gonna happen overnight, because you got two different personalities coming together as one. But that pridefulness has to go. You know what I mean? It's not gonna really work when you're dealing in a marriage. So
and I feel like I was getting ready to say something until you said that thing about the wife thing, and that thing just totally, I was slipped my mind now. Oh gosh, what I was saying. And more so to me, I feel like, because I was about to say the thing about like men being a provider. Men are providers. They want to make sure that they family they want to make sure that everything's straight and everything else like that. So men are providers. But sometimes, because you have that mentality of, I'm going to make sure that I'll take care of my family, it will stop you from asking your wife or your spouse, hey, well, can you help me out? Or whatever. There's nothing wrong with, I see this thing plenty of times where people be like, 50-50 or 100-100, whatever else, well, whatever. They be going about this thing or this new age. It's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Now, if you can, and you willing to take care of your household 100%, then go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you get to the point in your marriage or in your life to where you just can't handle everything like how you can, it is nothing wrong with you going to your spouse and saying, hey, I cannot do this. It does not make you less of a man. It does not make you less of a man. And your wife shouldn't look at you less of a man, because at this point you having a little hard time of being able to provide like you usually do. So it don't make you a less of a man. I think that's the part where it comes from with men. They feel like it makes them feel less of a man if they can't wholeheartedly take care of their household without the help of the spouse. And it shouldn't even be like that. It should not be like that at all. You're no less of a man because you can't handle things. So don't feel like you shouldn't be able to go to your spouse and say, hey, I need help. Or even if so, or you just with anything. And it don't make you less of a woman if you can't, like some women like, okay, I got to take care of everything. I'm going to just take care of everything in the household or whatever else like that. I'm gonna cook, I'm gonna clean, I'm gonna do this. And it don't make you less of a woman to say, hey, can you help me out with the household stuff? It don't make you less of a woman. Because it's a share thing. Marriage is sharing. So if you just get it to the point in your life where you like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't do like I really wanted to. Well, hey, let's go back to the drawing board. Let me talk to my spouse so we could get this thing together, so we could get on one accord. Because when pride can make you go on separate courses, pride can really do that. And then that's when that single type of mentality come in, and then that person feel like, oh, what's wrong with me? You make your spouse feel like something is wrong with them because you act in a certain way, because your pride won't allow you to say, hey, I need something from you. I need this from you. So you act in a certain way. So it makes them, like you said, emotional. Yeah. That emotional abuse. So it makes that spouse to feel like, oh, something is wrong with me. And there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that at that moment, your spouse can't really humble down and say, I need your help.
And all that kind of bows down to, compromising.
Yeah.
And really just giving up yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be selfish in a marriage. And you should be where you can be able to talk to your spouse. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's one of the number one things you got to deal with from the start. Like, because if I can't come to you and tell you, hey, this is how I feel, or things are rough right now, or whatever, or
without you feeling like you're gonna be judged. Yeah, that's the number one thing.
Because as men, you know what I mean, that the ones that us that are doing our part and taking care of our families, or even if you're taking care of your kids and you're not in the household, it still plays the same part, because you got to take care of your family or whatever. But you shouldn't, especially if you're married, where you can't go to your wife or your husband and say, hey, even if y'all do separate bills or whatever, and just say an unsurprised bill came up or whatever, you should be able to go to the spouse and say, say, hey, this bill came up and it's $300 and I only got $200. You should be able to go to your spouse and they'd be like, hey, this the $100 if they got it. You know what I'm saying? Or let's come up with something so we can get this $100 so you can pay the bill, because you if nobody else don't have your back, your spouse should have your back. And if you imagine your spouse don't got your back, y'all need to really work on that, because if anything, he or she should have your back.
Yep, and I think I said this one time before. Like, I've always had this demonstration. People always said, "What you say? What do people say?" Oh, behind a good man is a good woman. Yeah, I ain't behind nobody. Yeah, because you shouldn't be behind nobody, because if you end up just like he said, I'm gonna give this kind of demonstration. Hopefully, y'all catch it. But if you behind that person or whatever else like that, you won't be able to really catch them. But if I'm on the side of you and I'm helping you and we're walking together, because behind me you could do whatever you want to do. You could be doing stuff and I don't know nothing about. But if we side by side and we're walking together and you end up falling, I'm able to catch you like that. But if you behind me and you still doing, and then that way I'm in the known too. I'm in the known because I can see everything with you. So I'm not behind you because I can't see everything you're doing in front of me. So with me, I like to say I'm beside him, because if he ends up falling, I got his arm and I could pick him up and we could keep on going. But if you end up falling, and it's like I got to sit here and struggle.
And it depends which way you falling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just
depends
in a
how
demonstration.
You're falling.
If I fall back and you're behind me,
then I can catch you.
But if I fall forward,
I can't catch you.
But if we're side by side,
I got you all the time.
Yeah. So that's just something that y'all can can think about later on. I hope we explain it.
Yeah, you would have to see the whole demonstration I did on that. I did a whole demonstration on that.
But definitely so, if you're dealing with that pridefulness in your marriage, um, work on it. You know what I'm saying? Really check yourself. A lot of times we don't, our spouse can tell us something and we really don't see it till we hear it from somebody else or see it ourselves. So just take inventory of yourself and be like, you know what I mean, and really see yourself, and you will see that, oh my, I'm a little prideful. I need to work on this right here. I need to work on that. Because if in anything, man, you want your husband or your wife to feel good about y'all marriage, feel good about themselves and stuff like that. Because if they're hurting, you should be
hurting too.
Yeah. So.
And I think what women, because women we always say as women, we don't need no man. We gonna do it ourselves. We gonna find a way. And a lot of us women are very strong, and we find ways out of no way a lot of times. So when you do become married, after you done have been single and you do become married, it gets hard for them to kind of rely on that man also. It gets hard, and that's where their pride is at, because it's hard for them to be dependent. Is that dependent?
Independent.
No, independent is like if you're doing it on your own. So dependent. Yeah. So it's hard for them to be dependent on their man, and that's where their pride comes in at, and it could be messed up, because it's just like, and then I don't care what nobody say, every now and again you want to feel wanted. You want to feel wanted. So if a woman is always like, I got this, I could do this myself, or whatever else like that, and be like, I don't need you, it's like what I'm here for. So that was,
yeah, especially in a marriage, you want, both should feel like
you're wanted.
Yeah. So, but definitely so, man. Like, you know, even dealing with anything, we talking about pride today, but even dealing with anything with the marriage, you know, you got to take inventory of yourself and seeing what you're doing that may be affecting the marriage, or where you can work on to make it even better. Because, you know, all us deal with different issues at time, and the better the communication is, I think the better that whatever the situation is, go through a little bit more smoother than that not communication and having that pridefulness. Because when you prideful, you really ain't trying to hear what you're saying anyway. So it's like, I done got my mind made up. You can say what you want to say. This is what it is. Yeah. So, and you can't have that attitude in a marriage. When you single, then all you gotta do is worry about you. So, but when you married, you gotta worry about you and your spouse. And even if you're not married and you got kids, you know what I'm saying, you can't have that you shouldn't have that prideful spirit, because it should be about you and your kids. You know what I'm saying? So, really, really think on that. But you got anything else?
I'm good.
I don't see I'm on the watch party though, but
I'm good. We just haven't done this in a while, and that's one of our topics. I just thought about.
Oh, we talk. Yeah. No. That's tough, Mike. The question was, Rita.
It says, how about when men don't feel wanted?
That's good, because a lot of times when we feel like that, we really don't express it, and a lot of times it just keep going on, and then if we're not careful, we'll start looking for things that we'll feel like we're wanted. Yeah.
And that's where other things could creep in. Yeah. Because what you want from that person, or what you're needing from that person, somebody else could swing right on in and just be like, dang, this is exactly what I want. So you start lusting.
Yeah. And
so you got to be careful.
We very transparent, but we just been dealing with that because my wife she been working and doing these cakes, so it been like, because that's why we really ain't been on like that, because we've been busy. Just I'm doing my stuff and she's doing hers, and both of us trying to run businesses. So I'm home a little bit more, so I just feel like, boy, what's going on? When we get in the bed, she fall asleep. This ain't going. Hey, one or two nights all right, but when that thing start getting 3 and 4 nights, something wrong. So I had to tell him like, hey, I don't feel wanted.
Yeah, he did.
I conversate. It took me a while to get here, but I conversate. I let him know, hey, like, I know you're doing these cakes, and I thank the Lord for everybody who ordering them and stuff. But I said, you gotta make time for me. So
he did.
So when you feel like that, you gotta tell him.
He said, "How about 3 or 4 months?" Ooh. Now.
Yeah. My advice is to really sit down and talk about it, like what's going on, what's happening, because when it gets a long period of time, other stuff can creep in.
Very much so.
And just to be real, like female or male, but mostly females. When females see that it's a married man, and they could see that you holding your own, you taking care of your family. No doubt if they see wife ain't slipping up, or they may feel it slipping up, they'll try to slide and sneak right in. So we got to be careful with that, you know what I mean? And y'all really come together and communicate about it, to see what's the issue is, so it won't be that extended a period of time. Now I see if it's dealing with illness or something where your body going through so much changes, but not flat out, even if you're working a lot, because both of us do a lot of stuff, but you got to make that time.
You do.
And when you feel like you neglected, you got to let them know. I know I do. I'll be like, hey, both of us busy, but we got to.
And it was so, it was shocking to me, because I was like, really? I never really expected him to tell me and say to me, like, I'm feeling neglected. And I was like, okay, I got to really step up, because I knew, I was like, and then in a way I was being selfish at that moment. I was being selfish, because I'm tired. I got to get up. I got to go. I got to do this. I got so much stuff going on. And I'm my worst enemy. And I didn't catch an attitude with him. But I was like, I'm being neglectful as a wife and sometimes as a mother, because I don't get to cook like I usually do and everything. So when he said it, it was shocking, because you don't get that. You don't get that, hey, this is something is wrong. Something is wrong with, like, we got to fix this or whatever. He usually, and I don't know, the way he said it, I think is the way you said it. And I was just like, and it wasn't argumentative. He just came to me peacefully. He was like, I feel neglected. And I said, okay. And that's when I knew I had to figure out, and we got to start making more of, I have to start making more of a opportunity for us. Because we used to do that. We used to make opportunities. It's just me and him spending time. So now I got to make sure that his, as well as me being on this business track and everything else, that I'm not neglecting my husband in the process. Because I don't want no other female coming around. I ain't want to have to bust nobody head, okay?
But yeah, definitely so, man. Y'all get together and talk about it, like, especially that period of time. You don't want it.
Hey, Pastor Vereen.
Where it get that far, that far distance, just, even if you gotta go on a date, I don't know if you have kids or not, just even if you just put them to bed. I know with everything going on with the corona, a lot of people not really growing out and stuff like that. But even if you just put the kids to bed and do your own little dinner there, and really express your feelings. And one thing that I learned when you're conversating or trying to communicate, it's you get a better reaction when you're talking calm. Even if you're feeling a lot of emotion with it, try your best to bring it out in a calm way, so it won't start an argument, but where we can talk, I can hear you, you can hear me, and we can work on it. But I've heard with some marriages, it'd be like 6 months they ain't really deal with each other at all. And when it's that much time in between,
they done got comfortable.
Yeah.
And you should never, no way in a marriage you should ever be comfortable if it's not a medical reason for you to neglect your spouse. No way, not months. That's just neglect.
Yeah. So even if you're, and I know everybody have different jobs and some may work extensive hours or whatever, but you got to take that time,
create the time, make
for
that time
for your husband or your wife, and your job shouldn't be more important than that. You know what I'm saying? Because we working for money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Basically, and I understand you got bills and all that, but you got to take that time for your spouse and really show them what they need at that time. And sometimes you may be feeling the same way and you don't even know because we're not communicating. So,
which is the basis of everything.
Yeah,
communication
is the base of everything. And I know y'all have heard us say that of all the videos we did somewhere down the line.
We're going to bring up communication
because you need it. That's part of the
communication
foundation.
Solves a lot of problems.
Stuff. Yeah, so that's the foundation.
Not just any communication, though. Got to be the right. You can't just be. I always say, because he said something to me this morning, and I didn't like how he said it, and I caught an attitude, and it was something simple. Yeah. And I told him, I said, I don't care what you say to me, it's how you say it. Please watch how you say whatever you say to me, because you're gonna get a nasty reaction. And he'd be shocked, like, where that come from? But you didn't realize how you just said what you said. You may felt like it was calm, but to me, I received it a wrong way. And I wasn't on the defense of nothing. Because sometimes when you on a defense of something and somebody say something to you, you could get an attitude from that. It was just something normal. We was just sitting down, and he said something, and I didn't like how he said it. So I was trying to be calm and be quiet, but then he said something to me, and then I was like, hold up, I got to get you, like that. But then he apologized, and it was all worked out. Yeah. So it's how you communicate too.
Yeah, definitely so. So really, we hope that something that we said today helped somebody in your marriage that will help enhance it to make it better. That's the main purpose of why we do this.
Yeah.
To just to share and give advice and try to help. Dealing with marriages, because so much now where people our age or even younger, it seems like the marriages are not lasting. It's like you can be married for a couple of months and then you're ready to part your ways and stuff. We went through some things that but some people got divorced over, but we've been able to work it out. But you just got to know that marriages work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And that's anything in life. Whatever you put in it, that's what you're going to get out of it. You can't go to the bank and ask for $1,000 and you ain't got $1,000 in your account. So it's the same thing. You ain't been putting nothing into it, so you can't get anything out of it. 0 plus 0
equals 0.
So definitely make sure that you're working on working together to make things better. And that rhyme. Working together to make things better.
Man.
Any more questions?
I don't see nothing else.
Oh.
What happened?
Hit. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. But we're gonna tune out. You got something else?
Oh no, I'm fine.
Like this, share it, tag somebody. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, please subscribe to our YouTube page.
We'll be working on that.
We'll be working on it because lately we've been just kind of slow on the go and stuff with even doing our live. So y'all stay tuned. Continue to like our videos and share our videos. And if you got a friend or something that
Fritz,
that maybe be dealing with some stuff in their marriage or whatever, we have a good much of videos on there kind of dealing with a lot of stuff. So just have them check out the video. Of anybody have any questions or something that you don't want to be on the live, you can always inbox us and ask us our questions. And again, this is Marriage 101 with the Gilliards. We love y'all. Peace.
See ya. Okay.